Welcome to another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I am your man. I'm your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I can continue to bring you the gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Every single day, y'all. Every single day. If you are new to this broadcast, if you are new to this podcast, you are now rocking with the best that covers the South Carolina three-time national champions, South Carolina Gamecocks. You're not rocking with the best, and since you're rocking with the best, you may as well come and join the ride. You may as well join the ride of Captain Will. Hey, transfer portal is popping. Transfer portal is going crazy. I'm seeing all these folks leaving their respective teams. I'm seeing players leave LSU. I've seen pretty much the whole Oregon State squad decide to leave. I see old Haley Van List. She got a visit with Mississippi State. I mean, so many different players. Ilya Scott, so many high-level players are entering the transfer portal, trying to find greener pastures. That's what's going down. They're trying to find greener pastures, trying to find the best fit for them, trying to find the best way to, I guess, get better, possibly, get that NIL bag. That's that whole recruiting pitch that LSU did. Maybe get to a championship. Groom you for the WNBA. A whole lot of things that are going on in women's college basketball right now, and I'm so excited for all of it. And the transfer portal is what it is. We are in an era where this is the norm. I don't know how long this norm is going to be, but this is the norm. After the season ends, when your team is either out of the NCAA tournament or don't make it to the NCAA tournament, you have a ton of players who are entering the portal. It is what it is. Now, at this point, we don't have any new players to enter the portal. Sania Feagin into the portal around the SEC championship time frame, round about that time frame. She entered the portal, so she's officially, not on the roster. She's not a Gamecock no more. She's gone, right? Okay, so Sania Feagin, and that's it. We got Kamilla Cardozo, who obviously entered the WNBA draft and balled out during the NCAA tournament and got legend status during that tournament. Salute to her. She was projected as a number 4 pick in the WNBA draft that occurs on Monday in New York City. Okay, but there are some rumors and stuff that she has risen her stock and not going at 4, but possibly 3 or 2, which is great for Kamilla Cardozo. So you got 2 players. You got 2 players right now who will not be at the University of South Carolina. Okay. Now, we don't know what Schema Walker going to do. We don't know what's going to happen with Schema Walker. Possibly she could stay. She can ask for the COVID year, stay one more time or move on to do other things. But right now, we're talking about 2 players. Okay. With those two players, then you have you got Joyce Edwards, who'll be arriving this summer. You got Manny McDaniel, who'll be arriving this summer. You got Adele Tack, who's already there. So the notion is like, does the Gamecocks actually need somebody in the portal to make us whole again? Does the Gamecocks need that action? The short answer is no. That's the short answer. Gamecocks don't need anyone. Okay? Gamecocks are returning 4 starters on this basketball team. We're only losing a couple players at this point. Some things could happen in the future. A player could enter the transfer portal and change the calculus. We saw that last year with Talaysia Cooper leaving. But for this exercise, we are going to talk about 2 scenarios. The first scenario is the Gamecocks stay pat as we are right now. That's the first scenario we'll speak on. The second scenario we are going to talk about is what if a player leaves the Gamecocks? Okay? What if a player leaves the Gamecocks? And a player, if a certain player leaves the Gamecocks, not a certain player, if a post player or a guard or whatever decides to leave the Gamecocks, they don't want to get more playing time. And I've been hearing so many rumors, so much stuff that's going on in the atmosphere because Twitter's on fire, making so many speculations and all this stuff. And I see some fake stuff going out. Somebody put some fake stuff talking about Hannah Hidalgo going into the transfer portal. I thought it was April 1st. What's going on? What's going on? So the first scenario, Gamecocks stay pat. We keep everybody we have right now. We got the girls coming in from the new recruits coming in. Okay, so if that is the scenario, is there a player that can come into South Carolina and start over the players we have right now? Adele Tack, 6'5", 6'6" recruit out of Texas, nursing an injury, is our future center for the South Carolina Gamecocks, following the mode of Camila Cardoza and the bigs that we've had before. That is the mode that Adele Tack is going to fill for South Carolina. I believe wholeheartedly she's going to be a really good player. Okay. Will she be ready for the start of this season? That is the question. That is the possibility. That is the $1 million question for South Carolina fans. Is she going to be ready for the upcoming season when it begins? If she's ready, all bets are off. All bets are off. If she's ready to ball, she's ready. The injury is gone. She is healthy. Everything being the same, Adele Tack will get minutes at the center position. Will she start? Probably not. Will she get solid minutes off the bench? Probably so. But can we approach the transfer portal with a if and a maybe going into the season? I don't think you can. I don't think you can. I don't think you can let the transfer portal go away without a definite. I think we gotta think like we're playing spades. Come on. For my older cats right now, you playing spades. You know what I'm talking about, right? We got some possibles and we got some definites, right? So I know I got a book. Or this might work out. Oh no, that might work out. If that happens, if this happens and that happens, that might be a book right now. Okay. I don't think that this coaching staff is going to go into the off season, because our off season just started, right? Off season just started, which is so awesome because we're the three-time national champion. But I don't think you could go into the offseason with a situation where you don't know if Adele Tack is going to be ready to start the season. Okay. I don't think that. I think you got to have a solid, definite going to the season. Okay. Now, is that solid, definite? Is that solid, definite a player like a Raegan Beers? Raegan Beers from Oregon State is a really good basketball player. I mean, we saw what she did against South Carolina: 16 points, 8 rebounds, 3 block shots. She was the number 10th ranked recruit in the class of 2022, 6'3" forward. Some folks say 6'2", some folks say 6'4". I'm gonna round it off and I'm gonna say 6'3". Okay, she was a 5-star recruit, McDonald's All-American. All those accolades that Raegan Beers showed from an early level. This past season averaged 28 minutes, 18 points, 10 rebounds, double-double, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, shooting 66% from the field, 63% from the free throw line. She is a really good basketball player. Ain't no way to sugarcoat it. Ain't no way to make it up. She is a really good basketball player. You have to think that way. She is, right? And the thing I like about Raegan Beers also is that she actually plays defense. She actually plays defense. When you have a defensive rating of a 79.6 for the season, that means that you play defense. You're not just letting players go by you. You are actually playing defense, which will translate well to a team like South Carolina, where she won't be a hindrance on the defensive end if she was to come to South Carolina. Offensive rating is great, 120.3. That all-around player is what really gets me hyped about a player like Raegan Beers, who could be an immediate starter, hear me now, an immediate starter for South Carolina going into the season. Immediate starter. She will. If Raegan Beers she already entered the portal, but she also got this non-contact thing. So pretty much she already know where she's going to go. And I've heard rumors about UConn. I've heard some other stuff that's going on, but I'm just saying right now, if Raegan Beers was to join the University of South Carolina, she'd be starting center going forward. She would. She fits the mold of a South Carolina Gamecock. Like it, love it, whatever it is, how you feel about it, she's a really good basketball player. In a situation where you don't know, what if they'll attack red shirts? What if they'll attack red shirts this year? Make sure she's good to go, a la Letitia Me here, and come back next season. And if you have a player like Raegan Beers who's entering her junior year, you can take some time with a Dale Tack to make sure she's GG. Those are the possibilities I see. Those are the possibilities I see with a player like Raegan Beers. If things stay the way they are right now. If they stay the way they are right now, Raegan Beers will be a big help to the center position. And I mean, I already said we're going to do the best basketball team that South Carolina has ever had upcoming. And I already said that this team right here, with just won the three-time national championship, was the best team that South Carolina has ever assembled. But I believe next year is going to be better with or without a Raegan Beers. I'm just saying. Okay, so not like we need her or anything like that. I'm just giving a scenario of her potential to be a South Carolina Gamecock. Would be great. Other than Raegan Beers, I don't see the way this team is constructed at the current time on April the 12th at 1332 hours, 1,332 hours, that anything would change. I don't see another player other than Raegan Beers showing up and showing out and arriving in Colonial Life Arena and talking about she's going to have a starting position, possibly have a starting position for the South Carolina Gamecocks. I don't see anybody else. No one. I don't not know Haley Van Lith. Come on now. Not no Barker from A&M, not Talia Scott, not any of these players. Any of these players that I believe, as the team is constructed right now, would have a starting role at the University of South Carolina. They could get minutes, but I also see that if they enter the transfer portal, they are not about coming off the bench or sharing minutes. They want to be a quote unquote star or promise NIL a piece of the pie like that. I don't see that with South Carolina the way it's shaped right now. With that being said, we have a solid post returning and also coming in as recruits. Solid posts. You add in Joyce Edwards and you add in Dale Tack. I mean, come on. You talking about two of the premier players in the country that are going to be at the University of South Carolina and will join Ashlyn Watkins, Sania Feagin, Chloe Kitts, in the post. All right. Possibly Sakima Walker. What is the scenario if a player decides, and so you're talking about three, potentially four players that's returning, and then 2 players coming in. So you have real talk. You got a glutton. You got a buffet. You have a buffet of post players at the University of South Carolina. What if a player decides for the University of South Carolina and say that I don't know it's time to move on. I'm going to go to another team. I'm going to give some more minutes, even though I just won a national championship. My mark has been bestowed on the University of South Carolina. What if a player transfers out of USC to another squad and there's an open post position? What if that happens? If that was to occur and we wake up April whatever, May whatever, and we have an opening at the end for a player at the University of South Carolina at the post position, then we can have a conversation about a typical or possible player that can join Carolina, not only take that player's role, but maybe have an increased role at this school. We already discussed about Raegan Beers. Okay, we discussed about her. We said that she is a great player and would do great things if she was to come to South Carolina. What a player like Timea Gardiner. Timea Gardiner, also from Oregon State. Again, they lost 7 players, 4 starters. You know, what about a player like her? 6'3" forward. She was 6 in the class of 2022. 5-star recruit as well. A sensational basketball player. Over the course of the season, she averaged 27 minutes, 12.7 rebounds, 2 turnovers, shot 45% from the field. And here's the thing. She also shot 40% from 3, 89% from the free throw line. She is a shooter. She's a shooter. Against us, she was 2 for 7 from 3-point line. She had a double-double, 10 points, 12 rebounds. She had a solid game. You get a double-double against the University of South Carolina, that means you did something. You did something. This ain't Midlands Tech that we're talking about, okay? This is University of South Carolina. I just don't. She's a really good player, and she's in the portal. Somebody in the country going to get a really good basketball player that chose to leave Oregon State. I really think that she will fit well in a Gamecock uniform. I really think she would fit like a hand in the glove. I'm talking about she would fit so well. She'll be that stretch 4 that we yearn for. Can you want somebody to step out and hit the 3? You want somebody who can step out and hit the 3. Also is clutch on free throws, can rebound the basketball, who's tough. Now her defense ain't all that. I ain't going front. Her defense ain't all that. But it's okay. She'll get better. 87.3 defensive rate. That's okay. South Carolina this year, she'll learn how to play defense if she was to become a Gamecock. I'm just more impressed with the range that she has and how she could stretch the floor at the University of South Carolina. Now, say if she was a Gamecock and you add another shooter at the post position to go along the shooters that we have on the perimeter. So you adding a player who shoot 40% from 3 to go along with a players like a Pow who's shooting 47% for 3. You to go along with a Tessa Johnson who shoots 44% from 3. To go along with a Bree Hall who shoots 40% from 3. Raegan Johnson 35% from 3. MiLaysia Fulwiley 34% from 3. That is unbelievable. First of all, that's breaking news. That's the number 1, number 3 ranked team shooting the 3-point basketball would get even better shooting the 3, while also adding size to the roster. I would love Gardiner to be a Gamecock. I would love it. I would love if she was a Gamecock. I ain't gonna front. I would love it. Gets me more excited. I'm more excited about Gardiner if she was a Gamecock than Raegan Beers. And the only reason, Raegan Beers might be a better player. She might be a better player, but I'm going like this right here. I'm still being hyped in regards to fitting needs that the Gamecock has. Do we have a actual need for South Carolina. Even with Camila Cardozo leaving the basketball team, going to the W, there's not a definitive need for South Carolina. There's a definitive need, I guess, in terms of leadership and size, because you can't teach 6'7", and they'll take 6'6", 6'5.5". But we still don't have a player on this basketball team who is a quote unquote stretch four. We don't. It's not. I mean, Chloe can hit those mid-range jumpers at times. She can. Ashlyn Watkins cannot. Sania Feagin is more deadly down low with a plethora of offensive moves. Joyce is not a stretch four, so to speak. Adele Tack is not a big who shoots the three. Timea Gardiner would fit that need for South Carolina, while also encompassing size with Adele Tack, the athleticism of the Watkins and the Joyce Edwards, the versatility of a Chloe Kitts. It just makes sense to me. It does. Another player that we have to discuss is a former teammate of Te-Hina Paopao. Oregon had some of the best recruits in the country over the last 4 years, right? And I don't know what the hell they just did. I don't know what's in the water at Oregon. I don't know what's going on with their program in terms of basketball. I don't know. But they cannot keep top recruits at the University of Oregon. Hell, the whole state, Oregon State, they can't keep no top recruits. Oregon State, the reason, and I remember the coach of Oregon State after the press conference talking about they play the right way, they do all these things like that, and we are America's team. Well, damn, you ain't America's team no more because 7 players left your squad. 7 left Oregon State's squad. 4 starters. So America's team. Pump your brakes on that, bro. Pump your brakes. But in terms of Oregon itself, so many quality players. But as a teammate of our own Lights Out Oceanside, Te-Hina Paopao, who played with her. And you talking about Grace Vanslooten. Grace Vanslooten was a top 13 recruit in the class of 2022, 5-star recruit, 6'3" forward, solid basketball player. Averaged 35 minutes, which is a lot of minutes for Oregon. They was a bad basketball team, but she averaged 35 minutes, 15.7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, shooting 40% from the field, 66% from free throw line. Defense was blah. Offense was okay, but it was a bad basketball team. It's just a bad basketball team. It's kind of, in my opinion, sometimes it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to judge, you know, when you're playing on a bad basketball team. It's just the way it is sometimes. It's just the way it is sometimes. And I think a different change of scenery for Grace would be good. Also joining a former teammate in Paopao. And she would be another big at 6'3", who is a high quality recruit who would join the Gamecocks if we lost a player or two in the portal. Is she more athletic than Ashlyn Watkins? Nope. She's not. Is she more athletic than a Joyce Edwards? Nope, not at all. Both of those players are more talented, and I believe both of those players got a higher upside than Grace. Is she better than Chloe? I don't think so. I don't think she's better than Chloe. I mean, she averaged 35 minutes playing on a bad team. She had 15 points, averaged 15.7 rebounds. Chloe played on a great team, sensational team, one of the best teams in the history of ever, and averaged, 19 minutes, almost 10 points, almost 7 rebounds. Come on. I mean, Chloe, but I think if we lost a player or two, I think that Grace would fill a gap for the Gamecocks. That's how I feel. My preference is Timea. That is my preference. If it's to lose a player or two. Now, I wouldn't be opposed of getting both players from Oregon State. Not if we lost a player or two. But if I have a more of an affection for Ms. Gardiner than anybody else in the transfer portal when feeling the need by the South Carolina Gamecocks. Let's go through these comments. Lots of comments on a Friday afternoon. Lots of comments. And Brian Blaze, Cap, would you be willing to take any of these bigs, even if Sakima comes back? For sure. For sure. All these bigs I just mentioned, including especially Raegan and Timea, are better than Sakima Walker. They're just better players. They're just better basketball players. Sakima played her role well for South Carolina, not going to front whatsoever. But you saw what happened once the games, the real games, the big games, where you got to actually play and you break into rotation. Sakima didn't break into the rotation, even at 6'5" and a senior. You know, Beers and Gardiner, my two favorites, would have easily broken into the rotation and got some points in minutes for South Carolina. Country Notary, what's up, girl? Hey, Cap, I guess the transfer portal will give us plenty to talk about over the next few weeks. It sure will. It sure will. The way they keep dropping, and committing and visits, and it's just fun. It's fun. It's fun for everybody. Helm Chart Cap, do you think we really need a big, or should we develop a talent we have? I think it really depends on if someone leaves. Now, if you have a player that say, and you say, if Raegan Beers says she wants to be a Gamecock, you can't turn that down. You just can't. You cannot tell Raegan Beers no. Nah, we good. No. Especially if Camila Cardoza, because here's the thing, right? Camila Cardoza averaged about 26 minutes a basketball game. We could divvy those minutes up, and Ashlyn Watkins, we can divvy those minutes up to, incoming Joyce Edwards and Sania Feagin, all those different girls. Now, and Adele Tack as well. I'm more so saying that if Adele Tack ain't G to G, good to go, ready to ball out in the fall, then we have a plan in place to get those minutes. And she would be ideal. Now, in terms of developing bigs, that's what we're going to continue to do. Those are things we're going to continue to do, and we will do those things. We just got to continue to follow the process and pick and choose in spots what we need and a player out of the transfer portal. Warren G, we will go get a big just for the depth. I think Beers is a great player, but don't think she is a scheme fit for the team. She doesn't run the floor well in Oregon State. At Oregon State, I believe, ran a lot of zone. Thank you for the comment, bro. I really do. Doesn't fit the scheme for our team. Our scheme is much different in Oregon State, for sure, without a doubt. Would she have to get in top-level shape to play our scheme? For sure, if she was to be a Gamecock. But those also would be the reasons whether she would choose South Carolina or not. You know what I'm saying? I think she is the best player in the transfer portal. Now, I can see the fit being a problem. I do, bro. I do. I can see the fit being a problem. And we don't want to put a situation where she is in ideal, like, how can I say? No craziness like how Haley Van Lith was with LSU. I think that she's a really good basketball player, and she will be a huge addition. I'm not gonna say huge, a big addition to our school if she chose to be here. Antonio, we full in South Carolina. We are full. We are full in South Carolina. You are full. But that's a speculation that some things might change, right? And we ain't going to talk about those speculations. We're going to talk about those rumors until, we know they are true. I ain't going to come on here and say some mess that ain't true, But there's some speculation that there might be some changes in the University of South Carolina. I'm just saying. Keep an eye out on Twitter. Just keep an eye. Twitter and social media and all these cool things. JB, Camila better go too. I think for sure that Camila Cardoza needs to go number 2 to Los Angeles. I think she has proven that she is her. I think she has proven she is her. I think the spark's going to pick her up. I really do. I just think she's a better player than Cameron Brink. I think she's a better player. High vibrations, Janae Kent from LSU into the portal. She's gone. She's gone. LSU, that number 1 ranked recruiting class that they had last year, just dropping like flies. Just go on and get. They know the writing on the wall. Those players know the writing on the wall. They didn't know what they are, or what they got into, and all that dysfunction that's going on. What was promised to them apparently didn't come into fruition. It just didn't happen. You can promise the world. You can say whatever you want to say, but you still got to deliver. And they didn't deliver on nothing. LSU did not deliver on anything. They didn't deliver on a championship. They got lucky. They did not play South Carolina in the championship when they won the championship because we would have boat raced them. We would have beat the snot out of LSU. Everybody know we did early in the year. We would have beat the snot of LSU. And all that NIL money and all that, those commercials and all becoming famous and on the Breakfast Club and all these different things would have went away because it would have never occurred. That right here wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. But they got lucky, but they didn't play us. And then they played us twice this year and got beat both times. And we didn't see them again in the tournament. We would have beat them a third time. And now the recruiting, the vaunted recruiting guru, apparently ain't doing the job as a recruiting guru, and their players are leaving quickly. High vibrations. I don't think we need anyone, not enough playing time to go around. I want our girls to be happy. Facts. I want our girls to be happy as well. I want to have, so if it, and I'm saying, and we have to talk, we have to say this right here. We have to say, if there's a scenario, if a lady leaves South Carolina, we have to address the transfer portal. We have to address that. At this point, right now, April the 12th, we don't have to address a need or in the transfer portal. Everything would be a want in the transfer portal. A player is not going to, a top-level player is not going to come to the University of South Carolina because that top-level player at this point will have to compete, and I'm talking about compete for playing time. They are not leaving a certain team to come to South Carolina and to compete. But if there are a player or two who leave South Carolina and there is an opening at the end, I think a player might show up at the University of South Carolina. Really do. Shakim, we don't need Beers. We have a attack, Ash and Feagin. We have a attack, Watkins and Feagin. Until attack is injured. Okay? Let's keep that in context. Until attack is injured right now. It's April. Will she still be injured when the summer workouts start? I don't know. But right now, she is injured. So what if it's a lingering injury that goes into the season? I want to talk to the attack. I want to talk to her next week. I'm going to DM her probably after this show. And see, Eric, I know you got all this crazy stuff that's going on with the parade and the celebrations and the turns ups and everything, but I want to have a conversation with you like we did before. I do. Joe B, what's happening is these players are going to end up forming some type of super team. Virginia Tech's old coach is trying to Avengers assemble over in Kentucky. You are so right, Joe B. You're so right. He left. The brother left Virginia Tech, went to Kentucky, and then just destroying his former roster and bringing them on in to Kentucky. And hey, it is what it is. I was just surprised, but nowadays, the kids ain't they aren't joining a school or enrolling in a school for the purposes of that school. They're enrolling in that school for the purposes of that coach. So that's why you see when a coach is fired, just like Amari Berry, as soon as Clemson's coach was fired, they're gone. As soon as the players from Kentucky, when their prior coach was fired, they left. And as soon as Virginia Tech coach showed up at University of Kentucky, into the transfer portal, and I'm committing to Kentucky. You ain't committing to Kentucky. You could come into that coach. I understand. It's just different. But I get it. High vibrations. We do get someone, they have to be happy coming off the bench. You're sure right. LB, Beers will be a luxury. South Carolina doesn't need her. I think she is choosing between Indiana, Kentucky, and UConn. I believe you are right. I believe you're right. I think there is a good possibility that she goes to UConn. I think she's going to UConn. I think she's going to UConn. Shakim, this will create a reason for Tack to hit the portal because of playing time. We don't need Beers. Bro, Adele Tack ain't going nowhere. First off, Adele Tack has dreamed about being at the University of South Carolina. There is no scenario where Adele Tack would leave South Carolina. None. That's why when I hear stuff about MiLaysia Fulwiley should enter the portal and go somewhere, MiLaysia Fulwiley ain't going nowhere, bro. She ain't going nowhere. Adele Tack definitely ain't going nowhere. Definitely. Not at all. LSU is falling like dominoes. Last year's #1 recruiting class. Boy, the season has changed, bro. It has really changed. It's so quickly. Bad press, bad social media, just stuff, clouds. Because parents don't want to put their kids in a situation like that. It's too many other schools where their child can flourish and be great. There's a lot of other programs, a lot of great coaches out there. I don't need that mess. Just want to play basketball, be coached by the best, be nurtured by the best coaching staff, and become a college student athlete, Not all this drama, not being a cheerleader. These kids ain't joining certain schools just to be a cheerleader, put on a uniform, ran the paraphernalia, and not get into the basketball games. Y'all saw what happened. LSU didn't even try to put in these players. They ain't try. They got these players playing 35, 37, 38 minutes. That's why you lost. You didn't develop your bench. You just concentrated on Angel Reese and Anissa Morrow, Fly J. And Fly J is straight up killing the guy. I saw on social media that she signed with, I guess, Mercedes, and they gifted her a honey wagon. Y'all don't know what a honey wagon is. A honey wagon is a $180,000 car, truck, Jeep, whatever it is. And they gave it to her. And the reason I know that, because I looked at a couple. My wife was like, boy, what the hell wrong with you? What, you lost your mind? You know, mess like this? You crazy? But Fly J just got one. Spencer Rattler got one. What, last year? Year before last? Got a honey wagon? Spencer Rattler, quarterback from University of South Carolina. Going to be a first, second, or third round pick in the NFL draft that starts in a couple weeks. That one right there. Our own Spencer Rattler. Yeah. But Fly J just got one. So she living her best life. With or without LSU winning the chip. With or without LSU's roster going bye-bye. It's crazy. Yeah, Pauline, you're absolutely right. Beers is going somewhere because in the portal she has no contact. Word on the street. That is so true. No contact. And which means basically no contact means she knows exactly where she's going. This ain't gonna be I'm gonna be bouncing around to various different schools, checking out the scenery and doing this, that, and the third. This just means that she knows where she's gonna be going. It's just a matter of time before she says, I am going to be committing to whatever university. She knows where she's going. So there's already been conversations, already been talk since the season ended for Oregon State. JB, doesn't Dawn purposely not use all her available scholarships in part because she's always looking in the portal? I would say so. That, you always got to leave an opportunity because you don't know who's going to enter the portal and you don't know who wants to be a part of a legacy. You don't know. And injuries can happen. And with Adele and Maddie, both two of our incoming awesome freshmen are injured. Not hurt, injured. So you got to sometimes pivot, Lots of great comments. Lots of great comments as we know. And it's going to be fun. The transfer portal is going to be awesome. It's going to be so much fun seeing where these players go, seeing where Carolina adds a player, possibly seeing if a player leaves the University of South Carolina. This is the fun part of the offseason. It may not be the happiest part of the offseason because a favorite player on your respective team might enter the portal. Like those Oregon State fans who was at the tournament, the Elite Eight, supporting, yay, Oregon State. Woo, we got this. We're going to be doing this. And we lost to South Carolina, but we'll be back. The fans looking at it right now like, damn, our whole team is gone. So what happens then? Because Oregon State does not have quality players coming in their next recruiting class, joining them up. They will go down. Much like in Iowa, will go down back to where they normally are. Or the transfer portal can help your team, or it can really hurt your team. And Oregon State's situation is really hurting them as a university in terms of women's basketball. Those are the facts. It's just reality of the sport, though. It happens. It happens. We'll be talking more about the transfer portal. And if I get some news saying that such and such player has that I feel it would be great for South Carolina, I'm gonna talk about it. Could be this evening, could be tomorrow, whenever it may be. Because you are now rocking with the best. Since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will, the best Gamecock podcast out there, covering the three-time national champions. Go Gamecocks. Let's go.